class, this is Mr. Watlington, Mr. Larry Watlington, and I will be your facilitator in CIT 272, Hardware and Software Troubleshooting. Hey, this is a great class. I think you'll learn a lot. I'm not sure what all your different backgrounds are, but really we're starting, and this is a basic class that's built around getting your A+ certification if you're in the IT curriculum. And when we think about these certifications, really there's 3 certifications that CompTIA is an organization, a certification organization does, and they kind of go serially. It starts with A+, which talks about computer hardware, software. Then it goes to Network Plus. Network Plus looks at networking and how you take these computers that you just built up and learned about and connect them together and network them. And the third one is Security Plus. Once I've got my computer, I got my network, how do I secure it? So like I say, CIT 272 is kind of that first step in this process within these IT, within the cybersecurity environment. All right, let's take a look at what this course has. Let's look at our overview. Now, some of the things that we're going to cover, this class really digs into is hardware, software, operating systems, whether it's, we're going to look at the Windows operating systems as well as Linux and Mac OS. We're going to touch on networking. We're not going to get very deep into networking. There's other classes that's going to follow up to get you into networking, as well as security. We will talk some about security, mobile devices, and virtualization, and this thing we call cloud or cloud computing. And then we're going to wrap it up with some troubleshooting and some operational procedures. Now, with every Indiana Wesleyan class, we will always integrate biblical and ethical principles as we work through this. So as far as course material, what are you going to need? It's the CENGAGE ebook. Like I said, a lot of this course is within the CENGAGE learning management system or the CENGAGE environment. So yeah, the book you're going to need is the CompTIA A+ Guide to IT Technical Support. Now, when we talk about this CENGAGE LMS or the learning management system, if you haven't used this, really it really flows pretty well. It really does. Just kind of give you an idea of what it looks like. So if you go in, when you go into our Blackboard, into your Blackboard learning management system, you're going to see these different workshops, right? Like for instance, this is what's in workshop 1. And when you click on any of these, especially if it's a CENGAGE exercise, it's going to open up and give you what's inside of there. And now if you click on, let's say for this particular one where it has the instructions and you see all the hypertext links, you click on that and it's going to take you into advanced hardware, this particular one, simulations within CENGAGE. And once you're inside of CENGAGE, and then you can continue with the instruction. So as you see, it's a natural flow, natural progression, not that difficult. Now, once you're actually inside of a lesson, this is what it looks like within CENGAGE itself. Like I say, you're going to see multiple topics as well as it shows you what your score is for each topic. Now, when you click on one of these, it's going to explode. Now, this is the actual lessons. And it's broken up in a very logical fashion where you have preparation modules that you will read out of the ebook, some studying, which is built around some PowerPoint presentations, and then there are some practical exercises in that as well. So all of that is within CENGAGE. Now, the way this is set up is that as you do these exercises, it will automatically populate your grades within the grade book. So you should be able to see that as you go along what your grades are. So let's take a walk through these different weeks and different workshops. So in workshop 1, as we start week 1, here are your outcomes. These are the things that really we're going to focus on in week 1. Excuse me. We're going to identify computer hardware, components, devices, how to connect these devices and hardware together, and how to use the hardware. So we're going to identify, connect, use, and then apply our management skills. And really looking at how does this apply within a business environment. Now, some of the labs associated with week 1, there's a hardware simulation prerequisite. That's the first thing you're going to have to do when you go into CENGAGE, is do that prerequisite. Then it's going to go and take you into how to select and install a motherboard, how to install a processor, and then there's a lab on how to select and install memory. So let's look at workshop 2. Workshop 2, very similar. Outcomes, Now, within Workshop 2, this is when we get into operating systems. Windows operating systems, the Mac OS, mobile operating systems, and Linux. As well as, whenever you talk operating systems, really you have to, at the same time, talk about file management systems and storage devices. The labs associated with Workshop 2, you're going to be installing a Windows operating system, how to do a backup, how to do a restore. There's a virtual machine lab there as well, and some labs that will take us through the Mac OS and Linux. Okay, looking at week 3, you see there's a lot more outcomes, right? A lot more things we're going to get in. So we start digging in a little bit deeper within week 3. Here again, and we could talk about how we're going to more on the operating systems, but then we're going to move into networking. Looking at network infrastructure, how to set up a local network, how to set up wireless networks within a SOHO, a small home office network, that SOHO network, how to configure a network, how to configure a network router, as well as cables, how cables are built, whether they're straight through cables or crossover cables. Quite a few things going on there. And these are the activities that's associated with week 3. You're going to really look at how to connect your computer to a network, how to install and configure your routers, how to install network hardware, and again, to cable. So there's activity, there's labs within CENGAGE to do that. Now, in Workshop 4, we're going to be talking about cloud computing. We're really going to get into virtualization a little bit deeper, printers, especially laser printers, and laptops and mobile devices. That's all part of Workshop 4, and there are some associated labs with that. We're really going to get into, like I say, when we talk about virtualization, Type 1 virtualization, Type 2. Going to focus more on Type 2 virtualization, which is host virtualization, as compared to Type 1, which deals more with servers. And that is, here again, another class within itself. Week 5, when we go into week 5, what are we doing in week 5? Now we're going to really get more and more into things like storage, excuse me, how to troubleshoot motherboards, whether it's CPU problems with your RAM, power supplies, and it's really going to get into that whole troubleshooting environment. Some of the activities, again, all based around troubleshooting. How to troubleshoot. It really starts with the troubleshooting methodology, whether it's a half-split method. There's multiple methods that we use to troubleshoot computer and network problems, as well as electrical systems. If you don't have power, your power supply, motherboard, processors, RAM, all of those things, and how to restore a computer at a restore point, meaning that how far back has our backups been saved, and how to restore it back to a given restore point. Now, when we get into Workshop 6, this starts really talking about security. How do we secure this hardware and the software and the components associated with that? And here we're really looking at more into the environment from physical security, as well as Windows or operating system security, network security, even down to what we call encryption methods, such as using BitLocker to do full disk encryption. Also, it's interesting, we're going to talk about this thing we call Active Directory. Active Directory, if you're not familiar with that, that is a program that runs in the background on a network that keeps up. It's basically almost like an inventory system. It knows all the components and all the users on that network, and it manages does account management, asset management, as well as being able to connect users with assets, with services. And like I say, and some of the activities here, like I say, it's about security. How to secure a workstation, how to secure a device using BitLocker and BitLocker encryption. Okay, some of the course, these are some of my expectations with the course, all right? Ask questions early, often and early. Ask questions early. Always, please participate in the weekly discussions and the devotions. And please let me know if you're having problems with any of your assignments, or if something's going on. I'm a very flexible instructor. We can work around pretty much anything if you can just let me know early and up front. All right, so when I summarize this up, like I said, it's kind of idea. I just want to walk through what this agenda looks like for the next 6 weeks. It's a couple of things to remember. I'm your facilitator. Now, that means I am not the expert in every area. Actually, I've got quite a bit of experience. However, there are some questions you may have that I'm going to have to go back and do some research on myself. Let's learn together. We can help teach each other, because, like I said, there's a lot of smart students out there in the class. So, we be sure we collaborate. If you need to reach me, I can be reached at my IWU email, and that is on Blackboard in the learning system. And at the end of the day, let's have fun. We're going to learn a lot in this class. And with that said, God bless you. I'm so glad to have you in the class, and looking forward to the next 6 weeks. Take care.